Welcome to On the Spectrum, and I'm your host, Terri Matthews, and this is the show where we inform you, entertain you, and yes, encourage you about all things autism. We like to call it prescription TV. So On the Spectrum, today is our What's Up Wednesday, and I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, Jeff Slavich, who is a financial advisor and can talk to you about financial advising if you have a kid on the spectrum. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So we have just a couple of minutes, but I think this is so important because there is life after autism, right? And we have to save for our kids, and we have different challenges when it comes to our kids.
Absolutely.
Financial advising is a word that even if you have a kid on the spectrum or not, nobody likes to talk about it. So I know. So I want to know from you, from a financial perspective, what do you think a parent should do when it comes to saving for their kid's future?
So Terri, you know I have a child with autism.
Yeah.
So I come at it from a parent's perspective first and a financial advisor second.
I love it.
So there are a lot of things that parents need to be doing. The easy answer is everything, right? Everything as far as saving and getting all your ducks in a row. But I really think that it's important that people take this from probably three aspects: short-term, long-term, and intermediate. And doing things, whether from the short-term perspective of saving money, whether it's for a device that's needed for the child, for an iPad, something like that, or maybe it's intermediate, and meaning that maybe college is in the forethought, or maybe the child is going to be able to work and have transportation. Maybe you're saving for a car. But for me, the big one is long-term. And that really comes down to when we're not here anymore.
Right. So, I mean, these were the thoughts that kind of went through my head. We all know that we're not going to live forever, right? Nobody likes to have this conversation, but it's one that's definitely needed. So saving and making sure even me as a parent have a life insurance policy, because I'm not also promised to live till I'm like 108 years old.
Right.
I hope I do, but I'm not
sure you
promised,
will.
right? So the idea of if I had to pick three things that I needed to do right now, and from the perspective of people who may not be able to have a lot of money to save just because of all the other things or expenses that they're spending money on, what are the three things that you would recommend a person would get?
Okay. First of all, you need to put great people around you.
Okay.
And that means, from a financial planning perspective, find someone that understands this part of the world.
Call Jeff, guys. Call Jeff.
It's just so critical. And I think it makes it so much easier that we can talk, because I come at it from a parent's perspective.
Right.
I think when clients know that, the barriers come down an awful lot faster.
Right.
And it allows them to open up and really tell me what's on their mind.
Okay.
Really let me know what concerns them, what keeps them up at night. Secondly, get started. Just get started. I don't care if you can follow the whole plan through to every last detail.
That's a good
but you
point.
have to get started.
That's a very good point,
Once
Jeff.
you get started, you're going to have no idea how much of peace of mind that you're going to find. And then just lastly, get some decent products in place that are going to be there for when you're no longer here.
So just for those people like me, I call it financial advising for dummies. So as an example, when you say a product could be life insurance, some type of savings plan.
It could be an ABLE account. It could be making sure that you have a special needs trust in place if that applies.
Right.
So all those pieces, we probably have about 10 different aspects that we go through when we sit down with a client. And we go through them one by one, and everybody's situation is a little bit different. So we go through each aspect one at a time, and we make sure that all those areas are buttoned up. But for three, get good people around you, get some decent products, whether that is insurance or it's making sure your retirement's taking place. But and then you want to get a special needs trust probably put in place.
So a special needs trust, we could spend a whole nother hour just talking about
Absolutely.
that alone. But you know what? I appreciate you telling our viewers the most important things that they need to be concerned about. Thank you for joining
You're
us
welcome.
today.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate your
You're
advice.
welcome.
So that's all the time we have today. But if you should have tips or ideas that you would like to share, please log on to www.terrimatthewsonline.com. Submit those tips. We'll share it right here on What's Up Wednesday. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time on The Spectrum.